Today we're going to talk about carbohydrates, and the reasons why some carbohydrates are good for you, why some of them are bad, and what they really do inside your body.
Hello everyone, that's me in real life, and if I were to play the entire original footage for you, everyone would be asleep before I got to the original thesis. So we're going to put a spin on this. Since I have now very limited time to create a masterpiece that everyone in the Zoom office would say, "Wow, Slyn, you should do more of these," I'm going to blatantly copy other people's presentation styles. This works better for me. And now that I've admitted what a fraud I am, we can finally move on to what I'm actually supposed to talk about. As you no doubt noticed by the title of this video, we're going to talk about your health. Yes, we should finally all stop ignoring it and come to grips that it actually does exist and really does matter. I'm sick and tired of seeing Keith Richards wannabes waltzing around in this world and others who weigh as much as Andre the Giant but are at least 2 feet shorter. Now let me put it straight here and now. I understand for some, weight management is difficult, and there is nothing wrong with being a little meaty. However, there are always things that can be done to prevent people from becoming so excessively large that gravity seems to get confused between Mother Earth and Captain Cheesecake. So let us start from the beginning of our diet, and let's get the title up. Carbohydrates are the most abundant biomolecule in the human body. This hopefully comes as no surprise to the average human being because it is labeled on practically every edible, inanimate object in the supermarket except for the ice keeping the meat slightly below room temperature. Carbohydrates play an extremely important role in the function of the body's immune and nervous systems. They are the major source of the sugar glucose, which is the fuel that our body runs off. Take away carbohydrates and the body would start burning fat and muscles to keep itself alive. Sorry to be blunt, but after you run out of both of those, then you probably have already been loaded up into a nearby cart being hauled by a man yelling to his fellow citizens to bring out the victims of the plague. The brain and nervous system require a continuous supply of glucose, and without them, one might say you're hosed. The World Health Organization recommends that humanity receives 55 to 75% of their daily energy from carbohydrates. It's not like we should actually listen to them or anything, since they only represent the global consensus on health matters. Foods like breakfast cereals, rice, breads, pasta, and potatoes are filled with carbohydrates that are good for you. Now I'm going to put some confusion to rest. Good and bad carbohydrates is not as clear-cut as Mother Teresa and Hannibal Lecter. It all depends on how refined the carbohydrates are. Take your breads and pasta. Assuming you're not buying the cheapest bread on the planet that is loaded with sugarcane and table salt, then you probably are eating something that is generally pretty healthy. Breads and pasta contain a lot of complex carbohydrates as well as additional nutrients that the human body needs to function properly, like sitting watching our third hour of reality TV. Personally, I find going outside and watching squirrels try and find their nuts in the middle of winter more real than anything on primetime. Pressing forward, bad carbohydrates are the carbs that one might find in sugary drinks, candies, cookies, and potato chips. These carbohydrates contain a gargantuan amount of calories in a small and somewhat unfair portion. This junk food contains about as much nutritional value as a cinder block, assuming you could eat one without breaking all of your teeth and rolling around on the ground screaming in agony. Junk food does have the upper hand against a cinder block though when it comes to calorie count, thanks to the highly refined carbohydrates inside them. So what you can expect from eating nothing but junk food is a slap in the face from your pancreas, which is beginning to have self-esteem issues because you are taking advantage of it all the time. Eventually it will attend one of those abused organ clinics and learn to resist your needs, which will end up in society labeling you as that guy or girl whose pancreas filed a divorce. Just for your entertainment, I decided to visit my old high school and convince my grade 10 science teacher, Miss Chiron, to demonstrate how much energy is shoved into one of those original gummy bears.